I just edited my way into 2021, and honestly, that's a bit much. I wouldn't have it any other way, but for the occasion, I thought I'd allow myself to have a little drink. Have a good year, everyone. Happy New One. So I was gonna do another video this year to like cap off the year, looking back at all the films I watched, but my brother moved out and he took the camera with him. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'll record it with my phone. I hope it doesn't turn out too shit. Yes. About 1 year ago, at the tail end of 2019, my New Year's resolution was that I would watch a movie for every single day of the year. It doesn't mean I need to watch a film on every day, it's just that at the end of the 365 days of the year, I would have watched 365 movies. So at the beginning of 2020, I started to write down every film I watched and put it in a list. And it got more complex. I put the IMDb score in for all of them, the FSK rating, which is like the German equivalent to the MPAA or ESRB, so it's like the age restriction or recommendation that's on the film, all stuff like that. So yeah, I've got that chart open now, and I thought it'd be a nice end to 2020 to see what I watched when throughout the year. So yeah, I started off strong with Phineas and Ferb the movie Across the Second Dimension, 7.4, which isn't too bad for an IMDb score. I don't have too much to say about it, to be honest, so let's just move on. Lawless. I just saw it on Netflix. I remember seeing it like ages ago, years ago, at my dad's place. I didn't really watch it back in the day. It's about some farmers doing like moonshine alcohol during the Prohibition. The first rewatch, the first movie I've seen before, was Deadpool. Not too much to say about that either. It's fun, I guess. 8 is maybe a little too much. DuckTales the movie. This I actually like. I also remember seeing this on TV like ages ago when I was tiny. Anyway, Pirates of the Caribbean: The Lost Disc. This is not really a film. The Pirates of the Caribbean 1 3-disc collector's edition. It has special edition in it, and then it has a third DVD with more bonus material, which is what I watched there. Which is the first instance of me kind of cheating, because I did not just count movies, which is kind of cheating. I have not watched close to 365 movies this year. But I think I did fair. Next up would be Alien. Alien. Would have enjoyed it more if my DVD copy didn't skip. So annoying. I gotta buy that again sometime. That's just my copy though. The film itself was really fucking cool. Then Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Now we're getting into the good stuff. I love to watch bad movies. Yeah, Hell on Earth. That's a mess of a movie. That's the first one. I watched that twice this year. Goodness me. First one's actually a really good movie. I love that. But they get so bad so quickly. Hellraiser 4, Bloodline. That's I'm 3 movies ahead of the plan at this point, is what this means. And 5.2, 5.5 was Hellraiser. Not good films in any sense of the word, but highly entertaining, laughing at the movie, not because of it. Blair Witch Project, yeah, it's fine. The best part about the movie is everything that's not in the movie, like the website and the marketing campaign, and you can't really get the sense that you're supposed to get from the movie if you haven't witnessed like the build-up to the release where people thought it was a real thing. In my opinion, the movie itself is a bit overrated. I do understand its impact on like found footage, the genre. Yeah, the way it kind of birthed this kind of found footage. The next thing I watched was Blair Witch. It's a sequel. This movie got trashed to shit a lot. I didn't think it was quite that bad. I mean, it was a bad movie. Way worse than like the first. But it did add like very few things that I think could have redeemed it, which makes it kind of sad that most of it is kind of bland, flat retelling of the Blair Witch Project. Next up, something better. Simpsons the movie. The Simpsons kind of dipped off after a few seasons. Yeah, I think the movie is fine though. Next up, Saw. Saw kind of gets a bad rap. Saw is known as like this torture porn, but the first one is seriously a good thriller. Coolest part for me about it is kind of the indie film background it has. To me, Saw, more than the story of the film, is just the story of two guys who really wanted to make a movie. They made it. And I think that's really kind of, yeah, inspiring. Oh god, next up is a terrible horror film. Seed of Chucky, which is sadly, for some reason, the Chucky movie I've watched the most times. This is my first watch of it. It's so fucking bad. You wouldn't believe. I think it's so funny though. It's like Hellraiser 3, Hellraiser 4, that kind of deal, where it's so ridiculous that it's funny. The humor is so terribly unfunny, and the movie is so terribly bad that it becomes funny again, which is amazing to witness. Iron Sky, the director's cut. I watched this with a friend, I remember this. We recorded our reaction to the film, but I never uploaded it, because it was kind of lame. Yeah, it wasn't that fun, so I let it be. Angels and Demons. It's fine, I read the book, it's one of my favorite books. The Librarian, Curse of the Judas Chalice. This franchise, I might make a video about this franchise. It's very mediocre. Yeah, this is the third one where it kind of became self-aware. My tea is getting cold. Next up, Nightcrawler. My first watch of it, actually. Nightcrawler is great. I love Nightcrawler. It's like, it is a well-received film, but I do think that 7.8 is a bit of an understatement because it is very enthralling. Next up, Driving Miss Daisy, which I think I enjoyed watching it, but I don't really remember. It's quite nice though, so it's a comfortable movie. 1917. This I watched with my dad when it came out in cinemas, and we liked it. I haven't seen it since. It's obviously a lot of talk about the way it was filmed with like it all looking like one shot, and that was probably the best part of it. Kind of a normal war movie other than that, but on a technical scale, it was so interesting to look at and watch. Bourne Supremacy. The Bourne sequels are so, in my head, I can't say if this is the third or the second one. These sequels though, I can't remember anything about them. I know at the end of one of them he jumps into water, and at the beginning of one of them his like girlfriend dies. Other than that, I just can't remember it. And here we've got the first instance of a TV episode. The Librarians, the TV show. I love this stuff, this Librarian franchise, because I kind of grew up on it. It was like what I watched 5th to 7th grade. These are a few episodes, but let's go on to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We watched that while dyeing our hair. Tim Burton remake. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. My first watch of it at my friend's house. I think also while dyeing our hair or after that. Scott Pilgrim to me is kind of 100% style. The story is just kind of but if the styling is done by Edgar Wright, then I don't care. At the point he came to World's End and Baby Driver, it's kind of the perfect marriage between style and substance. In Baby Driver, there's the substance to back the style up. Scott Pilgrim doesn't have that though. Yep. Anyway, yes, 28 Days Later. One of my favorites. I love this movie. I think that we watched that on a tube screen on DVD on the attic of my garage, which was fun. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Obviously one of the best films ever made. I could babble on for hours now, but I'll just skip on because everyone's talked about Indiana Jones. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I love Fury Road. I love The Road Warrior. Mad Max 1 is fine, but this really dragged. I was so bored. Let's just move on to something where I wasn't bored at all. Samurai Cop. Amazing. Amazing movie. Do check it out. Asterix the Gaul. It's an animated film, not much to say about it, honestly. Pirates of the Caribbean 2 Dead Man's Chest, the third one after it. Obviously, the first one's still the best. I kind of love the third one, though, still. The Last Crusade, again, Indiana Jones. Obviously great, great as hell. A fan edit, Star Wars Neon Noir. Honestly, do not remember watching this. I think it's a fan edit of, like, the third film. For the life of me, can't remember watching this. The Departed, The Departed. I watched that with my dad. Yeah, great film. Jeepers Creepers 3. This was very boring. Jeepers Creepers 3 sucks ass. It's not fun. It drags. Uncut Gems. Everyone was talking about this at the time for like whether Adam Sandler should get an Oscar for it. I was kind of let down, but I do definitely think that I would like it more on a rewatch because I really didn't know what to watch. It was good, I just wasn't really in the mood for it, so I can't really judge it. What I will judge though is 28 Weeks Later. Kind of a disappointing sequel to 28 Days Later. By far not as good. Still, I do want a continuation, if possible, by the director Danny Boyle. Next up, a fan edit of the Pirates of the Caribbean films, which I really shouldn't have watched because I was bored just because I watched that exact thing just days earlier. Marriage Story, very good. Probably maybe the best drama I've seen. Oldboy. Oh, my first watch of Oldboy was this year. Oldboy is one of my top favorite movies. Definitely check out Oldboy. Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park. I remember watching this because we talked about it in sports class and at school. Batman the Animated Series. This is also a show I love. Not too much to say about it, but it's some of the best Batman content out there. Batman the movie, 1989. I think we had a Batman marathon, all the good ones in a row. We watched Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. On 2 days, I think. Dark Knight trilogy is way better than these original Batman films, but I have a soft spot for Batman and Batman Returns deep in my heart. I made a video about them.